So Warren Buffett is one of these guys who has made a lot of money in the old system and is really like poo-poo, this stuff isn't real money attitude on Bitcoin, right? He's been preaching this since 2013, 2014. He's completely wrong. So we'll get into it. So yeah, he says that he doesn't have any Bitcoin. I don't own any cryptocurrency. I never will. That's his, I mean, I'll never do that new thing that's happening. I'll never. Like, anytime somebody's that against something, do you really think that they know what they're talking about? Are they really looked into it? It's a childish response. Like, I don't like the new way. I'm not doing it. Whatever, Mr. Warren Buffett. So he says it has no unique value at all. These are the 3 reasons why Warren Buffett says Bitcoin is poo-poo. He says it's an unproductive asset. They don't produce. They can't mail you a check. They can't do anything. And what you hope is that somebody else comes along and pays you more money for them later on. But then that person's got the problem. So he doesn't think there's any intrinsic value whatsoever to digital currency. He doesn't think there's any intrinsic value. Right, guys, you get this? He doesn't think there's any intrinsic value to being able to send money instantaneously for low fees. He doesn't see value in that. Also, it's an open ledger. You can see the money. You can see where it's going. This is very good for governments. Are going to love this because they can tax every dollar. They're going to see where every dollar ever is spent. Why is this fucking thing still fuzzy? Stop being fuzzy. I'm here, dude. There we go. Camera's drunk. My camera gets drunk. I drink whiskey. The camera gets fuzzy. Oh, Warren Buffett. Yeah, so he doesn't see an intrinsic value to it. Though Bitcoin is intended to provide real value as a payment system, that use is still pretty limited. As Buffett sees it, Bitcoin's value comes from the optimism that someone else will be willing to pay more for it. Okay, so look, this is bullshit. So Bitcoin is intended to provide real value as a payment system. That use is still pretty limited. Are you freaking kidding me? Did he just say this? Let's read it again. Though Bitcoin is intended to provide real value as a payment system, that use is still pretty limited. So how is payment systems limited? How are payment systems limited? Like Bitcoin can take over credit cards and checks, like gone forever. Complete industries erased because it's easier to use Bitcoin. It really is. It's easier to track. It's easier to monitor. It's harder to commit fraud. It's better. It's better use than checks and credit cards. But he's going to tell you that, oh, there's still limited use for having it as an effective, fast, safe, secure payment system. They're either stupid or they're trying to get you. They're trying to finesse you, boys. They're trying to finesse you. Don't let it happen. Number 2, Warren Buffett says he doesn't think crypto counts as money. He doesn't think it counts as money. As a tradable asset, Bitcoin has boomed, but it does not. But does it meet the 3 criteria of money? Okay, yeah, 3 criteria of money. According to the most common definition of money, money is supposed to be a means of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account. So I'm sorry, Buffett says it's a mirage. What are you talking about? Okay, a means of exchange. It's a means of exchange. So I want something, I give you something, and you give me what I want. That's a means of exchange, right? So if I have crypto, I want to give you it, and you have something I want, and you give it back to me. We just exchanged something. I exchanged crypto for something. Okay, so that doesn't measure up there, Mr. Buffett. Number 2, what's the next one? A store of value. A store of value. The Bitcoin has gone up 800% in the last year. What's the dollar done? What's the dollar's worth? You've been going to Costco. You go to the store. You starting to notice the prices going up. You start noticing things are 50 cents, $1, $1.50 more. It's happening. Hyperinflation's coming. It's not slowing down. Okay, so he's 2 strikes, Mr. Buffett. Next, a unit of account. It's a digital freaking ledger. Beep. Sorry. Digital freaking ledger. Every transaction ever is recorded. You can't hide it. You can't duplicate it. You can't falsify it. It's open. It's an open ledger. So anybody who has an internet connection can look and see the money being moved around. They may not know who you are moving it, but they can see that unit of money being moved. It's an open ledger. Everybody sees it. Everybody sees every bank transaction, basically. What do you guys think? Is Mr. Buffett striking out right here? I think he struck out hardcore. I think you're striking out Mr. Buffer. How can somebody have a name with buff in it and not be jacked? It's a disgrace. Good question. You do not have to buy a full Bitcoin. I believe that 100 million Satoshis, right? 100 million Satoshis equals 1 Bitcoin. It's 8 decimal places. We'll be talking about Satoshis. When Bitcoin in 20 years, hardly anyone will own 1 Bitcoin. It'll be impossible to own 1 Bitcoin. Okay, you're talking about 7 billion people on the planet sharing 21 million tokens. So people are going to own portions of Bitcoin, Satoshis, right? You can own half a Bitcoin. It's going to be whatever. Half 100 million Satoshis. So yes, you can buy parts of it. You can go to coin. You can log on to Coinbase and you can download $100. I should put up a link. I don't have it right now in the description, but I'll put it up later. If you buy $100 from Coinbase, I get $100, or I get $10 extra. You get $10 extra. Whatever. No big deal. But like I had people doing that. I had a couple people do that too for me. You know, they got $100 not 10 years ago, but like, 5 years ago when it was much cheaper. So like that $10 turned into whatever because I let it ride. I just left it in there. Who knows? My favorite whiskey. I really like this one, Wee Beastie, or it's Edberg 5 called Wee Beastie. I really like that one. But there's a lot of good ones. There's so many good ones. I'm finding there's a Wine Plus store or something close, and it's got an unbelievable selection of whiskeys and tequilas. I'm not a big tequila guy, but it's madness. I could drink a bottle every day and not go through all the supply they have of different whiskeys and shit they have. It's awesome. I love going there. I go there on Wednesdays usually, and I walk around. And, it's a good day. I don't know about your math, but that's something about the Satoshi thing. I'm not sure how the bits. Is that how they call it, the bits or something? So let's get back to yes, Mr. Buffett. It's money. It's definitely money. From my angles and what I'm looking at, it's money. Okay. He also says it does not meet the test of currency. It doesn't test currency. I think it does. I think he's wrong. He says, okay, and this is a psyop. They're fucking with you. He says, he adds, oh man, he made sure to add this, and they didn't. He adds that it's a very effective way of anonymously transmitting money. Dun dun dun! Only bad evil guys could use it. Oh my god! Like they don't drop off like duffel bags of fucking cash or briefcases of cash and shit and get things done. Like cash, U.S. dollar is the number one element in all crime in the world. I'd say it's the number one connecting factor. That there's the U.S. dollars trading hands. I mean, it's literally a digital ledger. You can't escape the transactions. You're never getting away from them. They're trying to scare you out of this, guys. He says this is just dumb. He says, are checks worth a whole lot of money just because they can transmit money? A check is just printed real easy. Anybody can print a check. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency being mined, takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of computing power. You don't get it from free. It doesn't come from nothing. There's an expense. You have to expense the energy in order to make the token. That's where a lot of these guys don't understand. They think it's just something made up easy that anybody can just whip up a cryptocurrency real fast. I mean, you can create the whole currency, but like to be able to get enough miners to like get it working and power it, it takes a lot of energy. So you're taking resources to make the Bitcoin. It's not an empty vessel like paper fucking money. Like fucking paper money. It takes way more energy and time to create Bitcoin than it does a dollar bill. Facts, yo. We're speaking them here on John Fitch Knows Nothing. Number 3, and this one should be the first one and the only one. This should be the only thing they say about his whole comments. He doesn't understand it. That's it. He's an old guy who made money a certain way, and he doesn't understand this new shit. So stop asking him questions about it. Right there. Stop asking this mother grabber questions about Bitcoin. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. Okay. So, yeah. He made his money a good way. He bought good companies that he believed in, and they turned out good. Good for him. But whatever. He doesn't understand this. He understands what he understands. Let's see. He says, I get in enough trouble with things I think I know something about. Why in the world should I take a long or short position in something I don't know anything about? Beautiful. All right. So this tells you guys, he himself is telling you, don't listen to me about this at all. Don't take my opinion on Bitcoin and any lengths as something valuable, right? But he's basically just washing his hands of it. It's like, I don't know, guys. Like, leave me alone. But they put this out there because they want to scare you away from it. They don't want you to have it. They don't want you to buy Bitcoin. They need you invested in the dollar. They need it. They have to have it.